Hi, everyone, and thanks again for tuning in to the Mind and Us podcast, where we aim to simplify mental health so everyone can understand. Today, I had the privilege of receiving a tour of a cemetery in Bedford, and I must acknowledge and say thank you to Mike Chapman of the Commonwealth War Graves Commission. He did an excellent job of showing us around the cemetery and explaining about the servicemen and women who were buried there and about the World War, etc., World War One, World War Two. Excellent, excellent tour. So yes, I must say thank you to the Commission for granting permission for me to film there as well. Walking through the cemetery and reflecting on the lives that we remembered really inspired this podcast, and it prompted me to think about how precious life is and why being fully present in the moment can be so beneficial to our mental health, our psychological well being, and beneficial to us overall. It really had me thinking, and I thought, as I walked through the cemetery, there are thousands of people around me in these graves, thousands of people with thousands of stories, thousands of dreams, people who laughed, people who cried, people who fell in love, people who were worried, all the stories that were told of the soldiers. And today, every single one of them have something in common, as with all of us eventually. They have been laid peacefully to rest, and all their stress has disappeared. All the emails back in the days of the soldiers, I'm assuming they probably did not have emails. I haven't researched that, but all their emails, all their letters, etc., all the expectations, all any arguments, animosity have all disappeared. The only thing left is how they lived, the story that they've left behind. And that's why I came here. That's why I came on this tour. Not I didn't come on the tour with the intention to do a podcast. I came on the tour with the intention to learn more about the lives of, in particular, the soldiers. But it has inspired me. I didn't really want to talk about that. I prefer to talk about life. But I think on reflection, talking about that is talking about life because how we live and how we die inspires how people remember us and the stories we leave behind. And I truly believe the cemetery is one of the greatest classrooms on earth. Every headstone here whispers the same sentence to me, and hopefully it will to you. It says to me, you still have time. I still have time. We all still have time. We are above the ground. We are above the earth. Think about what ruined you. If you were to think about what ruined your week, your mood this week, take a moment and think about what ruined your mood this week. Was it traffic? Did someone ignore a message that you sent? Did you lose money? Did someone criticize you? Maybe a meeting went badly at work. Maybe your social media post didn't perform. Now, when I walk through, if you walk through somewhere like this and ask yourself, will any of that matter, let's say 100 years from now? 100 years from now, nobody will know your password. Nobody knows how many followers you had or we had. Nobody knows what car or will remember what car we drove. This is in 100 years from now. Most likely, nobody will remember what shoes we wore. But what people do remember is kindness. As I hear the stories of these fallen soldiers, what people do remember is courage. What people do remember is love. Isn't it amazing? Think about it. It's amazing that we spend our whole lives chasing things that was always going to fade or be forgotten. We have somehow become experts at surviving, but we're really beginners at living. And in the context of psychological health, psychological well-being, I just wanted to kind of link the two. Mental health just isn't about like a diagnosis like depression or schizophrenia or bipolar, anxiety, etc. It's not that. It's not only that, I should say. Those, of course, relates to particular pathologies. But your mental health and your mental well-being, psychological well-being, sometimes it's about the pressure we carry every day. The pressure to succeed in life, to look perfect, to keep up, to always be productive, to be rich, to pretend we're okay every day. Most of us, we carry this invisible backpack full of expectations. And some of the expectations aren't ours. It's expectations that other people have placed on us. And we have taken that on board. And many of us are exhausted, genuinely exhausted, not because life is impossible, but because we've been carrying worries we were never really supposed to carry, or worries that are not meant to be worries, really. Visualize this. Imagine picking up a stone, a tiny stone, not a heavy stone. You just pick up a tiny stone, no problem, it's fine. Now, imagine carrying that stone every second for 5 years, for 10 years. Eventually, that tiny stone will feel like a mountain. And that's anxiety for many people. It's really a massive thing. It's hundreds of tiny stones carried for too long. The strongest people I know aren't the ones who never struggle. They're the ones who usually ask for help, and they're the ones who admit, I'm not okay today. And that's strength, and that's not weakness. And it's so poignant as I walk through the cemetery. It's so important to ask for help and to give help and to support each other in this life. It's important for our mental and psychological well-being to ask for help when we need help and don't let that tiny stone 5 years or 6 months or a year down the line become a mountain for us. Asking for help is not a weakness. And as I walked through the cemetery, I also reflected that nobody really, the stories of these soldiers, which was kindly relayed to us, nobody reaches the end of life wishing that they'd spent more time refreshing emails or sending letters, etc. Nobody said, I wish I had more worries or I wish I had more. I couldn't see any of that on the tombstones, even of the civilians. Nobody wished they'd spent another Sunday arguing online with strangers. Instead, people regret not making phone calls. They regret not forgiving, not taking that trip that you want to take, not saying I love you to the people who you love because you're worried about the response you'll get if you tell them you love them. People worry about not believing in themselves sooner or at all, because some people don't believe in themselves at all. And one day, our entire life, your entire life, will be reduced to a few dates on a stone, just like our predecessors. Between those dates, this is how I visualize it. Between the birth date and the date of death, there's a tiny dash, like a hyphen. That dash is synonymous of every laughter, every heartbreak, every sunrise, sunset, every hug, every dream, everything, everything that we've experienced from the date we were born, from the date we die. That dash symbolizes how I visualize it, life. And that's why it's so important to be present, to be actually present in life, to be present each day, and present for the things that would make you happy, and the things that would fulfill you, and the things that would enhance your life, and the things that would leave you with the story that you wish to be told about you after you're gone. What I want to say is, I say to myself, and I've reflected, this is more to the forefront walking through a cemetery. Don't waste your dash. Don't waste your dash. Obsessing over things that really don't deserve your attention. Right now, somebody would give everything they own for one more ordinary Tuesday. One more coffee, one more walk, one more hug, one more chance to apologize, one more chance to start again, one more chance to say I love you. Just one more chance of something that's important to them. Yet many of us are living the lives somebody else is praying for without even noticing it. And gratitude isn't pretending that life is perfect. So being grateful isn't saying your life is perfect. It's recognizing that life in itself is a miracle. It's precious. And every morning we wake up, life life quietly asks us certain questions. If we're present in the moment, we're present in life, we will hear those questions each day, each morning. And one of the questions I tend to hear each morning is, what will you do with today? What will I do with today? What am I going to do today? What am I going to be? What am I going to contribute? What am I going to give? What am I going to achieve? Not tomorrow, not next year, but today. Life asks us that question every day as soon as we get up. So, what I say to myself and what I say to you on reflection as I walk through the cemetery, stop waiting until you lose weight. Stop waiting until you're a bit richer or you have a bit more savings. Stop waiting until you feel more confident. Basically, stop waiting until everything is perfect. Because perfection really is a moving target. You achieve this, and then you want to achieve something else. And in the world, with social media and with the way life is at the minute, the world tells us perfection is something completely different to what we may ourselves visualize. Life happens while we're waiting, and you don't have to become fearless before you begin something. You become fearless because you begin something. No one really, I always say this to myself, no one achieves greatness in their comfort zone. Only when you become fearless and you put yourself out there and do what you want to do, achieve what you want to do, live in the present, then you really begin to live. So I think in reflection, why I chose to do this podcast is to encourage people for your own psychological well-being to start now, start to live now. Call that person who you're worried about calling. Write that book. Sing that song, take that walk, say sorry, tell that person you love them, laugh out loud in public even. Take that holiday because one day someone else will be standing where you are, where I am. Someone else may be living in the house that we live in now. Someone else will be standing where I'm standing, watching someone's grave, watching their headstone now, looking at your name, looking at my name, and thinking, hmm, I wonder what kind of life they lived. I wonder what kind of life Christiana lived. And I would love to make sure that that answer is she truly lived. She truly lived. And as Frank Sinatra said, she did it her way. So if you've listened to the podcast this far, I want to say something. I want you to do something, not tomorrow, today. Call someone you love, forgive someone, most importantly, for your own psychological well being. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for things that you are holding over yourself, for maybe not doing or someone said you didn't do right, or mistakes that you made in this dash, this journey of life. Go outside, watch the sunset. Tell someone they're important because life isn't measured by how long we're here, not by the number of years. Some of these soldiers died as young as 17, 20, which is we would consider short. Some died 80 something years old. And the cemetery doesn't tell me to fear death. It reminds me not to fear life, to live. And maybe that's the greatest lesson this place has to offer us, to offer me. One day, we'll all leave a date of birth, a date of death, and a little dash in between. Live so fully that your dash tells an incredible story. Again, live so fully that your dash tells an incredible story of how you wanted to live, not how society said you must live. And with that, I will say thank you for listening. And remember, the goal isn't to live forever. We haven't reached there yet. The goal is to truly live before you die. So if you've enjoyed today's podcast, if it has motivated you in any way, if it has helped you in any way, and I truly hope it has helped someone to reflect, please do like, share, comment, and we appreciate you. We thank you for tuning in. We are a growing podcast and we hope to continue to produce mental health, psychological health, and well being podcasts simplified so everyone can understand. We are hoping next week to release a podcast which would be related to work and your psychological well-being and the impact of stress at work and weathering. Weathering is a term related to the constant breaking down of something due to a particular event over a period of time. But we'll go into more detail about that, the more specifics when we release that podcast. So once again, thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Christiana Joseph, on The Mind and Us, where we simplify mental health. We wish you a good day and thank you.